everyone, it's Tawney. This is take 2 because my guinea pig decided he didn't like his food, he didn't want his water, he wanted a carrot. So do apologize if you hear him. And I also apologize if he starts screaming again, because apparently his carrot's not good enough for him and he needs more. So what I want to talk about in today's video, as I'm sure you can tell from the title, whatever I title it as, we're talking about the recent developments that have come about from Shane Dawson regarding James Charles, Tati, and Jeffree Star, of course. So all of this is kind of like going to wrap up with my thoughts about the whole Jeffree Star thing, but that's like, we're going to talk about that later in this video. But first I want to recap you on those who don't know or don't care or didn't care at the time about the James Charles drama. Now, right around Tati's birthday, she had a dinner party, and I believe invited James and his family to her house in, I think it was like in Nevada or California, one of the two places. It wasn't like a Seattle house or anything, because I know it's where she's at now. But she had invited him for her party, and there was a waiter that was a male who was cute, and they, from what we were told from James well, I guess I should say Jeffree / Tati, and then like, I don't know with the whole whatever, but so James apparently talked to the waiter and was like, yo, I think you're really cute, like we should get together. And the waiter was straight. And then it apparently was this whole thing that James convinced this straight guy to be gay, and he's turning straight guys into gay guys, and he like misled this guy and was like doing nasty things and predatory things, and predatory was like the main word that came about from like Tati's video, and she said that he's like a menace to society, and like we don't need people like him around, and like saying very nasty things, like very accusatory things. And like, I think the whole thing to keep in mind here is the fact that James Charles is like 18, 19, 20 at the time. And I mean, he's only like a year older now, but like he wasn't very old at the time of all this is happening. So he's still like somewhat a child, old enough he can make his own decisions, but still young enough that he's not like in his 30s and then should have his life together and know everything that's going on. Like he's still trying to figure himself out, figure out who he wants to be, and like, I'm not trying to defend the kid, but after everything I've seen and read and like heard about, I don't think that James Charles is like the true antagonist, like bad guy in this situation. But it was all this stuff. Well, then Jeffree was posting on Twitter and kept saying that he had receipts, he had all this information, that everything Tati said was true, that she wasn't lying, and that like, you know, all of this stuff did happen. Well, then he posted a video and it was basically no receipts, no truthfulness, like no facts. It was just all biased and opinionated, and was just like, we're not going to talk about this, we're going to move on, we're going to focus on better things. And everyone was so like, I remember at the time I was a big Jeffree stan, and I, you know, didn't really like James Charles, really wanted an excuse to hate him pretty much, which kind of sucks to say that, but like I kind of like wanted all of that drama and needed all of that to like justify the fact that I wasn't a James Charles fan anymore. I kind of felt like if I'm not going to be a fan, I need a reason why, other than I just don't like him anymore. And I feel like that's what all this drama, like that's where all this drama stems from, is that we're constantly like trying to validate why we don't like a person online. And I remember when all this stuff went down with Laura Lee, Nikita Dragon, Gabriel Zamora, and Manny, all this stuff, whenever Drama Again Part 1 went down, I had stopped liking Laura and Manny's types of videos. I didn't like Nikita, and I didn't really like Gabriel Zamora. So it was kind of like, oh, okay, it'll give me a reason to hate these people. Like, it'll give me a reason to not like them. I like Jeffree more. I liked his content better. Like, I just didn't like these people. So then, like, all this backlash on them, and it's like, oh, great, now I really don't like these people. So like, lately, I've been starting to think, it's okay to stop liking somebody. It's okay to not like the content they come out with. It's okay to not like, for Manny, he had this similar skin type, but he was sort of like Latino, I think, or something like that, where like his skin tone was like different, and like the undertone was different, and he was a man, so he had a beard, and his like face shape was just too not, he had a jaw and I don't. And I was just kind of like, you know, I don't want to watch a video that doesn't really help me out with like doing my makeup, and I just didn't really like his whole character. And Laura Lee was starting to do like dumb makeup, and like I could tell that she wasn't fully like into doing the makeup that I was used to seeing from her. So I was like, well, I'll stop watching. And same thing happened with James. I just, like, he never matches his foundation, and that kind of bothered me. And then he talks so fast, and I completely understand that that's like an anxiety thing, like that's how he is, but it just like, it gives me anxiety, so I can't watch. And that's just kind of like, I was just like, you know, I'm not going to watch anymore. And I've realized that those are completely valid reasons for not wanting to watch somebody. If I don't want to watch them because they talk too fast, their skin type's not my type, so why would I want to watch, like, if they're not going to give me advice that helps me, kind of a thing. Like, I'd rather find someone like Kathleen Lights. Even though she has dry skin, she's like the shade that I am. So I feel like any recommendation she gives, I can like take that into consideration and things like that. But with all of this going on, I never really understood what was making me feel this way, and everything kind of like led back to Jeffree. And with the whole thing from Shane, he pretty much said that him and Jeffree knew about Tati's video, but he didn't tell her what to say, he didn't tell her how to feel, and it was just kind of like standing up for himself, essentially. And I am proud of the fact that he was like owning up to mistakes and owning up to the bad things he had done, but at the same time he made the comment that all influencers are the same and they all act so entitled and like they're better than everyone else, and like everything they do is justified because they're terrible people, or like something along those lines. And every video I've seen was basically like, you know, you choose to hang out with people who act that way, who do those things. Basically, Jeffree Star, you know, you choose to hang out with somebody like that, or like Trisha Paytas or whatever, or the people he's done his video things on, which I don't know if he did Logan or Jake Paul, and then he did Tana Mojo. And it's like, you surround yourself with these people that are not good for you, that are not good people, and then you wonder why everything's going to crap, why everything's so terrible and all this stuff. And I just kind of realized, like, the common denominator could be Shane, but I understand, like, from his point of view, if you're trying to better yourself, but you're around a bad environment, it could be you, but at the same time, it could also be the people in your environment. And I think that Shane never fully took accountability for those things, or for the fact that he was friends with these people. And like, he made the comment that Jeffree wanted to see James fail because, you know, he's, you know, a bigger influencer. And I completely understand that. Like, you know, when you're higher up, you want to see a competitor like in a presidential campaign, or a campaign in general, like if you're neck and neck, like 51-49, that 49 person goes down and you go up, that's great because that pushes you. And I completely understand. But if you're going to do this in like a negative way and like a demeaning way and like really knock down somebody's character like they did with James Charles, I think that's where that crosses the line, where you start to become so like manipulative and just power hungry that you feel like anything you do or say is justified because you want this and because you feel like you deserve this. And I think that's kind of like something that Shane missed the point on. And like, he kept saying like all top influencers are the same, they're just money hungry and they're just doing this for the views, and like all their videos are anti-hauls and like negative videos. And then he's like, well, and Jeffree's the same as all those people. And I'm thinking, if you don't like those people, then why are you saying, and you're saying that Jeffree's the same, then why are you friends with Jeffree? You know, he says in his comment that he doesn't like the things that Jeffree does or says. He doesn't believe that what he does is right. And I'm thinking, if you don't like, I understand you don't always have to, like, you're not going to like every quality about a person. Like, my boyfriend listens to country music and I hate it, but I'm not going to, like, stop, you know, dating him just because that, you know, it's not, like, influencing his character. Meanwhile, these things with Jeffree and Trisha and Tana and Jake/Paul or whoever, like, all those things and all the people that Shane is putting himself around all have these negative qualities that talk more about their character than they do about, like, likes or dislikes or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that Jeffree just doesn't like, you know, like he says, oh, I don't really like James' style of video. It's one thing. It's another thing to like completely bash the guy and like try and ruin him forever. I'm like, he still has a life outside of YouTube. He has a family. He has friends. He has to, like, if he doesn't have a YouTube career, he's going to have to find a career somewhere. And if you're calling him a predator and a sex offender and all these things, he's never going to find a job. He's never going to have anything to himself. And like, you have to think about, like, you can only tear down somebody so much before they have nothing left. And I'm like, I don't completely, you know, justify that whole, like, it's just too far. And that's kind of what really made me realize that, like, I need to think about things, like, you know, and everything that's happened with Jeffree Star lately, and this is kind of what I'm going to wrap up. I don't really want this to be a super long video. I just want my thoughts to be out there. Like, I don't think Shane is in the clear. I don't think what he said justifies anything he did. I think he has a lot of makeup, you know, room to make up and make improvements and fix who he is and what his values are. Because if he values being friends with, you know, people like Trisha and Jeffree who do these terrible things to terrible people, or to people in general for no good reason, then, like, he needs to, you know, that's on him. I understand it's on those other people as well, but that's on him. And, like, everything that's happened with Jeffree lately, and the fact that they're thinking that he's going to restart all this drama, and that he keeps trying to, like, bring up this stuff because he doesn't have as many views or things like that. And like, he came out with the cremated palette, and while I don't necessarily think it was like negatively bashing people who have lost family members and friends and loved ones during this whole virus, like, it's just so tone deaf that it makes me feel like I just feel ucky, you know? And I bought the conspiracy palette, and after watching these couple videos that are talking about all this stuff with Shane, somebody mentioned that it was a 6-hour ad, and I'm thinking, I watched that video, wanted the palette, waited the day it came out, sat with, you know, not decent internet, but couldn't get to it. They congratulated themselves about getting, you know, whenever they released the final episode, and they were congratulating themselves on selling out. Meanwhile, Shopify was down, and half the people that wanted them couldn't get them. You waited in line, you couldn't get it, and they didn't give a rat's butt. That kind of pissed me off. Because I'm thinking, I was one of those people that wanted that palette, that was invested in that, watched the stupid documentary series, which had nothing to do with Jeffree, to be quite honest with you, had everything to do about Shane and trying to promote a palette he never once talked about on a YouTube channel that never had any videos, which, to be honest with you, kind of ticks me off too. But that's beside the point, because I don't like Shane. Like, I've never really liked his content. I haven't liked anything since he stopped doing parody videos. Not into documentary stuff, not into ghost stuff, not into anything he posts. So I honestly don't feel bad not being a Jeffree fan, but I just feel so, like, misled, and, like, I'm, like, on a rant now. But I'm just, like, I bought the stupid palette, and it's, like, you know, like, that's it. Like, you got our money, like, you know? And he posted this thing, like, 12 hours after coming out with, you know, the newer 9-pan palette that had the green shade and the new glosses or whatever. And, like, after doing the restock, then he's like, I'm out. And it's, like, glad you got your money. Like, glad we helped pay for your super expensive house. Meanwhile, you say you're poor. Like, I don't know. It's just, he, like, bragged about being poor. Then he bragged about, like, I don't know. Like, somebody mentioned that he brought up his anxiety, and then they're like, so now they're going to make it in a way that if you bash him, then it'll be like you're bashing someone that has anxiety, or like you're starting all this stuff and you don't understand what anxiety is about, whatever. And I'm just like, I'm tired of the whole pity party. I'm tired of the whole, well, we should hold you to a higher standard because you're a celebrity. We shouldn't feel this way about you or think that you have these negative qualities. No, you're still people. You still do things that are wrong. You can still get arrested and go to jail just like the rest of us. You can still get kicked off YouTube or what, like, I don't know where I'm going with that, but like, I don't know. So I've just come to, like, the whole, what I'm trying to get at in this video is that I'm no longer going to be supporting Jeffree Star. I realize now that I went into the hating James Charles thing blindly, and then was, like, thinking it was justified. And, like, I like Tati, but her video content's been terrible since she, you know, moved in Seattle or whatever, has been staying with family. Like, it's just not, and I understand she's not in her typical beauty room. She's not getting PR sent, like, directly to her. It's making it harder for her to do videos, but I'm just kind of, like, tired of that. I don't want her to post a video talking about her truth. I don't want to hear any more about this. I'm honestly done. Like, I just want everybody to shut up about it, for Jeffree to move on with his new boyfriend and move on with his life and his new house, whatever. I want James to keep making YouTube videos and doing his thing. I want Tati to start making videos again, trying to have a baby, trying to move, whatever she's doing. And I want Shane to stay out of the freaking beauty community, because we don't freaking need him here when he's bringing in drama. And, like, I don't know. And I can't speak for the whole beauty community as a whole, because I'm a very small influencer who has, like, 1 follower, and I don't post consistently, and I'm just, like, rambling, and my videos aren't edited or whatever. But, like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I'm going to use up all the Jeffree stuff I have, but I'm not going to buy new things. I'm going to support people that are, like, better people and have better morals and ethics, and that aren't going to do things so manipulative. And I just kind of realized that, like, I don't really like YouTubers that are on the tip top of the scale. Like, I don't know, I don't like Nikita Dragon. I really don't like her makeup brand, but that's just my personal opinion. It's just nothing interesting to me. Like, I'd rather follow somebody like Emily Noel, who makes super good videos, has all this information and knowledge behind the videos, knows what she's talking about, and uses drugstore brand items, like drugstore, you know, price range items. And I'm just, like, I'd rather stick to somebody who's more realistic, who, you know, has a family, focuses on that family first, then does YouTube second or whatever. But, you know what I mean? Like, I'd just rather focus my energy on people that are good people, that do good things, that don't need to justify what they do, or say, I'm sorry I did this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want somebody that did bad things and has to justify it every time. Because it gets to the point that you can apologize, but you're still doing those actions. You're still doing those things that make you a bad person. You're still doing stuff that's going to make you have to apologize later. And I'm like, yeah, you're apologizing, but then you go and do it again. And it's like, we're supposed to feel, glad that you apologized. No, we should be glad that you're not doing these things anymore. We should be glad that you're changing. And I don't feel like Jeffree's changed. I don't feel like anything Shane's done has changed. I don't feel like making this apology letter has made him a different person. And I'm just kind of like, I'm done. Like, I'm over it, There's better people in the beauty community to follow on YouTube. There's better brands out there. There's better indie brands that have better makeup than Jeffree Star Cosmetics does. Like, I've used one of his palettes, and it was an older palette that's now discontinued, and the quality wasn't that great. And I'm like, I get better quality off of a ColourPop palette, and I'd rather put my money into a brand like that that's more affordable, that doesn't have bad people working in the behind the scenes and all that stuff, and that supports smaller influencers. Because have you ever seen Jeffree collab with anybody other than his friends, family, or he's never collaborated with anybody like a smaller influencer to give them a chance. It's always been Shane, who had no business being in the beauty community, or saying he even was whenever he didn't have any intention of doing anything. His ex-boyfriend Nate, who poor sucker got sucked into all of this, and then he did stuff with Manny because they're best friends. And I'm like, I'd rather see somebody who's not your friend go and do this and just be promoted through your brand than somebody who's a friend who then whenever you stop liking them, you stop selling their products. Because I don't want to get involved in that drama. I just want the freaking makeup. So, yeah, I'm going to link those other 3 videos down below because I think Samantha Ravindell really went in on Jeffree and really, pushed the whole, this isn't okay, what you did's not right, it's not justifiable, and things like that. And I also think that Abby and Hannah, who does Smokey Glow's videos, well, she is Smokey Glow, but I think their videos both have a lot of good information and a lot of, while they are opinionated because they are coming from these people just like mine is, I think they have a lot of good, thoughts and ideas about why they're no longer supporting these brands and why they think that this was a terrible thing to come about and why this never should have happened and all this stuff. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Yeah, I think I've said my piece, my truth. That's how I feel about all of this, and I'm no longer going to be supporting Shane. No longer going to be supporting Jeffree Star Cosmetics or Jeffree. I've deleted him on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, stopped following all of his brand stuff, and I deleted him on YouTube, which I think is a big step for me because he was one that I always justified his actions, and after everything I've seen on Twitter about how terrible of a person he is, and it's how do you not see this? And it's I really am appalled and sorry, and I hate myself for how long it's taken me to see that these are terrible people and what he's done is awful. And I wish I would have realized it sooner, because I realize now that his actions aren't justifiable, and trying to make excuses is just making me look bad. And it also puts me in the category of who you follow says a lot about you. And I got my master's in social work. I'm try to be ethical person. I try and follow the rules and do things with morals and values in mind and all this stuff, and I just can't ethically support someone who would be like that. So that's where I'm going to leave you off at in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell down below so you know when I upload, because I don't have a schedule and it's never consistent. Definitely check out the other videos I'm going to post below, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye!